Yeah, so that's one of the things is that oh geez, there's different types of packet systems. I run BPQ, which is maintained by G8 BPQ. It's a packet switch. So long and the short, there's sound modems. I got a whole bunch of them, and they're all connected to the packet switch software. And the packet switch does exactly what you think it does. It switches. So when you connect to it, you can then from there bounce off to another port. You can connect to the BBS. You can connect to a bunch of custom applications. My background is that I do Unix stuff. I've been doing software development, IT generalist for quite a long time now. So packet just comes very natural to me, and just if you're familiar with Unix and Linux and stuff, it's pretty straightforward. And if you've been on I don't know if you remember dial-up BBSs from back in the day, it's pretty much the same thing, just over radio. So there's not much more to it than that. It's deceptively easy, and I think that's what a lot of people get confused about is kind of how straightforward it is. Once your audio interface is working and you have kind of your levels good and everything, the rest is pretty straightforward. So I can walk through kind of how to operate the BPQ packet switch if you're interested. That way, when you connect to a node, okay, what does this do? What can I do with it? And where can I go with this? And that's where the fun stuff is. So does anyone have any questions or anything?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, go for it.
Hello. I've tried to understand how to leave messages to everybody that sits in here. We try to send messages through EasyTerm, and we can see messages in the mailbox, but it doesn't seem it goes into the other station mailbox.
Yeah.
So could you explain maybe in another part how do we exchange those freaking messages?
Okay, that's your problem. So EasyTerm is kind of like an old if you ever play with an old TNC before, they're like a hardware modem, right? So they're kind of for when your computer wasn't really, you could have a dumb terminal connected to the TNC, and the TNC would connect to your radio. So it was a modem and node controller all in kind of one. It was just a packet computer. And how it works with mail, an EasyTerm emulates this, is that it has an internal mailbox. When you leave a message in EasyTerm for someone, it will only ever stay in their EasyTerm. It will never go anywhere else. It's inbound and it stays there. That's it. And it will beacon out periodically that it has mail for X people. That's kind of what it does. So mail will not route with EasyTerm. It is just a inbox. Other people can use your EasyTerm mailbox as their own inbox too. It's just kind of a dumb store and retrieve later mail system. That's all it is. And the same with any other type of TNC. It's going to be very rudimentary like that. It's not going to have the ability to do forwarding or anything like that. So you're not doing anything wrong. It's just that's how it works. I can show you what BPQ does and kind of walk you through the BPQ system. It does forward mail, but you also have to set that up, and it's like it takes a bit of getting used to. Yeah.
So if we just want to test with each other how that mailbox system works, so I think I sent a message to Don once, and the message is still sitting in my mailbox there, and I don't think Don ever got my message. How?
So this is the problem. Don would have to connect to you to get the message.
And how does he knows? He knows because when I'm beaconing,
yes,
he'd have to
look at the monitor window and go, oh, look there's mail for me at Claude's place. I'm gonna go, connect in and get it.
So
That's
there
it.
is no indication in easy term that you have a message ready for you. You have to look for that beacon string.
Yeah, if you get mail in easy term, right where it says mailbox, there'll be like a parenthesis with a 1 in it.
Oh, okay. So at least Don would have
Yeah.
know if he heard my beacon, his mailbox would show a 1.
No. The beacons are just fire and forget. That wouldn't do it. No. If there's mail on your system for him, he would have 0 indication. He has to go and grab it himself. He has to just check in periodically. That's it.
Yay. Okay.
Yeah. It's very stupid. There's no forwarding. There's no alerting. There's nothing. It's very primitive.
So Daria, I went and logged into Claude's mailbox,
Yeah.
and it said there was one available message of 10.
Mm-hmm.
What do I do now?
So the command for that usually is like LM for list messages. It'll show you your messages, and then you type in R.
Hold on, I'm gonna share my screen if I may.
Sure. Yeah, go for it.
So I'm connected to Claude there.
Yep. You just type in L.
L, enter.
Yep. And it should list any messages.
And so down here, this was what, just a confirmation that I sent something?
Yeah. Just although that is showing you is the AX25 traffic.
So that's just a header.
Yeah. Those are just AX25 protocol.
All right.
That's way more.
All right, so up here.
Yeah, so it says message number 12, and it's going to eventually spit out the rest of that when it gets around to it.
You mean it'll read message 12?
No, L just lists your message.
List, okay.
If you want to read it, you're going to type R space 12.
R space 12.
Yep.
So there is no way to get that message straight from the mailbox button. It's always like that. You need to list the message and then read the message number.
When you're connecting in remotely, for you, this is why there's a big difference between running kind of easy term as your own little tiny thing and then being a BBS. So I run a BBS, and that is where people can come into to get mail, and it also routes mail. Whereas
we're going to get to that. I want you to know how to interact with your BBS.
Mine is going to be the same as any BPQ system, which is the majority of them right now. So.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and then you see that message is listed out now when you've read it. And when you want to kill the message, you just type K space 12 and it just deletes it. Yeah.
K space 12.
Yeah.
Does case matter? Uppercase, lowercase?
No, it doesn't matter at all.
Okay. And so I've gone into his easy term, I've pulled the message, and then I've gone back to him and said, I got to delete it on your side.
Yeah, exactly. And I can see it has been deleted in my mailbox. When I click the mailbox button, message number 12 is gone.
Yeah,
now,
that's it.
Daria, tell us again, how do we know that someone else has a message that we should go pull?
So you won't see it in that window. If you go over to monitor, the monitor tab in easy term there, right? You're going to want to scroll up now and to the point where you're going to see various beacons. You see mail for none. If you scroll down there a bit more, right there, mail for none. Okay, it's 2 MBX. Okay, so not every BBS, but a lot of them, especially easy term, it will beacon out if it has mail for people. And it just does this in a UI protocol. So just like a UDP packet type thing, it just fires it out there. If you're not watching for it, you will miss it.
Okay, so if any of us have mail for anyone else, it will show up as a beacon type statement.
Yeah, what I would suggest is if you're trying to do all this as a group, you might want to have a BBS or something, and then you all connect into the BBS, and then you all have mail in one place.
This is a lovely segue. Now, how do we use your BBS to do that?
So if you can all connect to me, my BBS is like routed in forwarding with a lot of, I'm paired up with a lot of other BBSs around. So
how would we connect to you?
Yeah, to connect to me, you just connect in and it'd be VE3 VTY.
VE3
BTY. Yeah.
boy tango yellow.
Sorry. Victor Tango Yankee. -7 or -1 for BBS. It doesn't really matter. You just put -7 there and I'll show you the node while you're coming in. If you come in on -7, that's the node. The node is the packet switch itself. And that lets you connect to other people, but also, see what I'm connected to and etc.
All right, so I have a connection now to your
Great.
BBS infrastructure.
Okay, so you can type in question mark. This works on every VP, well, pretty much every node. If you just connect to it and type in a question mark, what's going to happen is it's going to spit out just a list of commands. I have a lot of commands on mine. I've kind of been tinkering with it, adding in some goodies. So a lot of those are kind of prototype little goodies I've been playing with.
So we're looking up here.
Yeah, it's just going to spit out the different commands. It's going to take a short bit there. I tell you to type node, but don't do that. My nodes list is really long and it might be a bit slow over AX300 unless the connection is really tight.
Speaking of that, Daria, let's say we list the nodes. Is there a way to stop that thing beside disconnecting from your BBS? There's no way we can break that list.
No.
Okay,
Disconnect.
because I've listed messages sometime and it went on forever.
Yeah.
And I could not stop beside disconnect.
Yeah, so on a BBS, you can set OP, OP and then a number, and that's like your pagination. So if you type OP3, it'll give you 3 lines and then go, do you want to continue? So,
okay.
Set it to a sane value that works for you, and there you go. So as you can see, there's quite a few commands on my system here. But what you're looking
I'm sorry, Daria, are all of these commands?
They all do something.
Okay.
I hope. Yeah, definitely. There's short forms for a lot of them, but they do work. I can explain all of them, what they do if you'd like.
Well, for beginners, what if
Yeah.
we're completely new to this, what's the first function we should figure out?
Well, the first thing I do is just getting used to the BBS feature. So if you connect in on a -7 is generally node. So that's generally the SSID that everyone uses for nodes.
So Daria, anybody, if you guys have your easy term and sound modem up, go ahead and do that same thing. Click on connect, type in VE3 Victor Tango Yellow -7.
Ain't that going to be a mess?
That's going to cause quite a bit of contention on the band.
That's what
I'll
I
just
thought.
warn you right now. If you want to come in on my radio is set to 20 meters right now as well as 40. So I got 20 and 40 running. If someone wants to try to come in on the 20 port, I don't know if you'll be able to. It depends on where you are.
All right, so that was a bad idea. Scratch that.
Yeah. If we had all AXIP, that'd be obviously fat, but you need to switch for that. So
okay.
I can show you.
Yes, please.
I have it running, so I can just share my let me share my terminal here, my easy term. Okay, so let me shrink this down a bit.
Daria, do you recommend that this is how we interact with packages? We find someone that's kindly hosting the BBS and we interact through that BBS instead of trying to do point.
Yeah, if you guys want to connect to my BBS and just like completely go nuts and just like screw around, go for it. I don't, it doesn't bother me. You're very welcome to connect to my system and play around, connect, just like go nuts, do whatever you want. It's not gonna be a problem. I like it when if someone's learning, have at her. Just it's there. So
is that VE3 Victor Tango Yellow -7? Is that up 24/7?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So I'm on I'm running all the time on it. Let me just show you this little thing here. Here you go. Okay, so I'm connected to my node right now. Yeah, so if I type in the question mark, if you can see everything right now. So now I'm connected to my switch over TCP IP, like directly. You can do that with easy term. It's just way more advanced, so I won't go over to that. But I'm connected direct to the switch nonetheless. Okay, so it'll be very fast. You saw the commands. Now, if I type in nodes, for example, these are a list of nodes I'm connected to. Okay.
And
Now,
we would do that if we wanted to worm our way through.
yeah. If you want to worm your way through. So let's say I want to connect to Steve, for example. Steve is in Wisconsin. So I can go to, you do C for connect, or you type in connect, but I just type C, right? It's a short form. There's a lot of short forms for all the commands. Then you have to type a port number. Well, these are my ports. So I have a lot, as you can see, I have a lot of ports. I kind of have everything going here. Port 20 is the AXIP, so we'll just use that for, keep it fast for the demo purposes here. And then Steve is, well, his KB9 PVH this is his system here, or right here. So he's got Willow. Where's Willow? What's that not showing? Oh, anyways,
there's a Willow lower left.
Yeah, that's it. That's it right here. So this is his node. You're right. So you can connect using the tactical call sign, like that, or you can connect using this. Okie doke. Okay. So let me connect here.
And Daria, that what you just did replaces going up to the upper left-hand side, clicking on connect, typing in the call and saying connect.
Yeah. So I've I'm connecting to him through my switch.
Yeah. Right.
So that's how you'd bounce through the network. You'd connect to another node and then connect to another. If you want to, you can traverse the entire network one step at a time by doing that. It's kind of cool. It's fun. So I'm now connected to Steve's BBS in Wisconsin direct over AXIP. Not his BBS, sorry, his node. Same thing with him. If I type ports, it'll show you the ports available on his system. And that's coming over AXIP. And yeah, that's it. So if I want to connect to the BBS, I just type in BBS and then oh, sorry, it's mail for him. He's a bit strange, he's male. And yeah, 0 messages. So if I type in LM, it's not going to show me anything, but I can type LC or something.
Is he using faster packet speeds? I see 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Which is faster than 300 bots.
Yeah, definitely. So if you want to go really fast, get Vara. Vara is ridiculous. It is awesome. It's very, very fast. I run Vara on mine too. So I can walk you through that as well if you want to do that. Vara, super fast.
And Vara modem is going to connect to EasyTerm?
Well, there's a thing called VaraTerm. So it's better to use VaraTerm. It does not have the mailbox options or kind of the fancy stuff that EasyTerm has. But if you're connecting to a BBS, not every BBS runs it. I do though. I like having fast connections in. AX300, a little bit slow, not a huge fan of the speed. Sometimes the conditions are bad. No good. Vara, awesome. Works great all the time. So it's especially handy when I want to connect to, let's say I need to forward mail to Steve, right? So if I'm forwarding mail from my BBS to his, if we used AX300, it would be ridiculously slow. It would tie up the user port. It's not encouraged to do that on network like Net 105 and Net 80 or Net 40. So we have Vara running just a little bit off frequency. And that's how we will do backhauling in case we lose network connectivity. Yeah. But this is let me do some message testing, I guess, here, and I'll show you some stuff. So what you're going to do when you connect to a node is you're going to go to BBS, right? In your BBS, you can basically, check your messages here or send a message. So I have like if these are sysop messages, you can just ignore those. They're bulletins that get sent out to other sysops, kind of just, what's going on the system. If I want to send a message, so look at new user NV1Y, right? So John connected, for example. Now I can send, let's say I want to send John a mail. So I go send NV1Y, right? It's going to go title, and I just type in the title. Then you just enter your message, just the same as easy term. It's the same thing. So and that's it, mail sent. So now if John checks the system, he connects in, you'll see his mail. Now, what's interesting though is there's a thing called home BBS. So you'll notice this is a path you set. When you connect to a BBS, you can set your home BBS up. And when you set your home BBS up, that's how my system and every other system knows that it should forward mail for you to that BBS. So when you find a local BBS you can connect in on that's, reliable for you, you should set your home BBS to it. And that way, if anyone else in the network sends mail, it will eventually find its way to you. Okay, the forwarding is a little bit more complicated. I can show you that through the like an administration panel type thing. But yeah, this is the plumbing behind it. It works. It's very kind of low level. It's old software that's currently still maintained. So the interface is kind of old. It's very text-like. It's not something that it's not GUI based for the most part. Although John did do a good job, I think, with it being GUI based. Let me see if I can show you here. Okay. I'm just going to switch my screen sharing here. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you should see a new window here.
Right.
This is just a web browser, and it's my BPQ node. So this is the user interface for the BPQ software. BPQ software runs kind of three main packages. It runs the node switch, and then it runs a chat server, and then it runs a mail server. So the mail system is what you're talking about, what you guys were trying to do with EasyTerm. So I'm paired with a bunch of different boards all over the place, for example. So here I have here, for example, I'm paired with this guy named Red. Red is PE1RRR. He's really big in the packet scene. He's one of my major peers on how I just get a lot of traffic from his board. And so with him, for example, I can connect to his node and then connect to his BBS from there. These are just connect scripts. So every hour, my system executes this connect script, which gets connected to his system. Once it's connected to his system, then it exchanges the bulletins and all that kind of stuff. And if you haven't noticed there, everything's kind of based off these, what looks like domain names, these hierarchical addresses. And that is how the routing is done for messaging. So in the United States, it'd just be it'd be USA.noam. And then for Canada, it's can.noam. And so these basically, you can break them down like this, and then the BBS knows that any mail for Canada or any mail for the US or et cetera, Europe, you can select it by just selecting only the level of the hierarchy, and it'll just grab everything for that and dump it out that port. So
Daria, how many people are operating packet-based infrastructure?
a lot more than I thought. A really great way of showing that actually is the chat map. So let me find that. Give me a second here. There is a okay, so there's no real like official kind of map, but the what's really cool is that John set up John's the guy who authors the BPQ software. This is an example of a very rudimentary map he's got kind of set up for how the chat servers are interlinked. So this does not show mail forwarding. This simply shows how the chat servers are connected to each other. Okay. This should give you an idea. And this is not everyone who's running BPQ. This is just chat servers. So this should give you an idea of how many people are running a BBS. Because everyone on this list here, like everyone on the map, is at minimum running a BBS.
Remarkable. So there's a surprisingly robust infrastructure here.
Very much so. On net 40, I can get, so you see me up here and I'm connected with CGR and also connected to WW2BSA. And then CGR is connected down all the way down to, yeah, packet K4 packet in Florida. So the forwarding gets around really quickly. Often, sometimes you might get, if I send you a mail through the packet BBS system, you might get 2 different copies of it sometimes because it'll take 2 different routings, or it's kind of weird like that. It's not the most, you'll get the message generally. I've never seen a message go lost, but it does happen. But I've seen duplicates more often than not. So
Daria, you've mentioned net 40 and 105.
yeah.
Back up, and for those of us that are utterly unfamiliar with packet, what's that mean?
Okay, so there's a let's see here, network 105. This is kind of the BBS network. It's an old network that's was created by Canadian ham back in the day, and these are the frequencies for it. There's net 105, which is 14105. There's net 30, which I never have any luck on, so I don't even bother. Then there's net 40, 7104.
So we are on net 40.
That's right. That's right. Personally speaking, I get most all of my traffic on net 40. 40 meters is fantastic. It works very well almost all the time. So
Daria, back on the map you showed us, were all those nodes connected over HF, or is any of that IP?
Both. It will show both. There's, yeah, so if the link is down, it's black. It's kind of color coded. How it works is that in the software, you can tell it to only link up if there's if there's someone chatting on your system, then link. But if there isn't, don't. There's no point. So it's not a very good map to determine the network structure, but it's a very good map to just give you an idea of, what's going on here. And as you can see, the Western world is pretty much connected, very well together. And I would say this is accurate.
Do each one of these represent a potential HF pathway?
I would say most all of these are HF.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, most all of them are HF, definitely. Most people who run BPQ run HF. There's a lot of like my system also has a VHF port. A lot of I think most everyone also runs VHF. So not everyone. There's a lot of HF only stations.
You seem to
And
have a
then
very
yeah,
reliable signal. So does
yeah, no.
your other buddy. Why is that? You guys just have robust gear, good antennas, you leave it up?
Uh, I just leave mine alone. I just don't screw with it, right? So I don't have anything special. It's not a special setup. I live in cottage country where I am, so it's really kind of quiet up here. I've got a fair amount of property to work with, fortunately, and I have some very tall pine trees. I've got about 95. They're about 95 feet, right? So I use my drone to take fishing line up, dropped a little like with some washers on it, and I dropped fishing lines at the absolute top of these bloody trees, way up there. And then I strung some paracord up and around, and then long and short, I strung this G5 RV 100 feet up between these two trees, and the thing is up there. It's got to be at least 80 to 90 feet in the air. It's up there. So that's the antenna you guys are connected on if you're connecting in through net 40 is a G5 RV way up in the air, and it works super well. Yeah, I have no problems getting regional connections on it, so I'm not complaining. And it's just connected to an ICOM 70 like 756 Pro. That's it. Nothing fancy. Yeah. And my other radio that swaps around between 20 meters and 80 meters, that one is an old Yaesu FT900. And that right now is on a Chameleon end-fed antenna, but I'm going to be switching that soon to another G5 RV, but in the complete opposite direction. So it's going to be out of phase and off this, out of the way of the other one. Yeah. You don't need much for this.
Huh, neato. Daria, Claude is our always leaning forward and sending us messages. Let's pick on Claude and let's help him, I guess, put messages on your BBS to us.
Yeah. So my question would have been, can we recap how to? I think we get how to connect to your BBS, but how to send and receive mail, and what are the principal commands that we need to remember?
Yeah, that's pretty much what you should be asking. There's a couple of things you're going to want to do. If you're going to want to use my BBS as your home BBS, when you do connect to it, there's these things called white pages, for example. If you take a look here at this list I have up, there's just this massive list of users. And this is when you create an account on a BBS, you create a white page listing for yourself. And that kind of shows what's important, which is your call sign and your home BBS. Okay. You can set two different types of home BBSs, or two of them. Messages will be routed to both those places if you have them up. Okay. So if you all want to exchange messages to each other through my system, you would set my system as your home BBS. If you have a BBS local you'd prefer to connect to, do that, connect to it, and then set it as your home BBS. And then when you send mail, it should eventually go through a system and it hit its destination. So I'll show you how to do this though. Okay, we'll walk through a brand new account creation, and I'll show you. I'll have one of you do it, and I'll just walk you through the process. It'll be more obvious when you do that. Okay.
So this has nothing to do with easy term, right?
That's correct. Yeah, a lot of people get confused by that. They think easy term's kind of the one-stop shop for it. It's not. It's just a terminal. It can do mail, but don't use a BBS. Yeah.
Okay, so over the air, what are we going to use then?
Over the air?
Yeah.
well, you use easy term, right? Or you use var term. Or you can use outpost. Outpost is kind of like a mail client that that's a little bit more advanced, but
Well, let's just keep it simple and
yeah, we'll just stick with this for now. So why don't we get one of you connected first and set up with an account, and then we can do some example stuff.
perfect. Claude, you up?
Yeah,
Want to share
I
your
can
screen?
try.
Yeah,
So
so
I'm going to connect over the air, right?
that's right. Yeah,
To your BBS VE3 VTY-7.
that's that. Yeah, -7 or a -1. -1 connects you directly to BBS. So the SSIDs are funny. They let you connect directly to an application, or you can just connect to the switch. You know, if you connect to -7, you'll just have to type BBS. If you type -1, you'll be right into the BBS. That's
So
the
you
difference.
recommend -1 then?
No,
I'm sorry.
it's salt to taste.
Okay.
So am I better with 1 or 7?
Depends on what you want to do. If you want to play around and node hop or chat or do other stuff, go through -7. If you want to just check your mail, go through -1. I personally always connect to -7 because I just don't like changing the thing. I just don't care. I just always connect to the node and just type BBS if I need to go in there.
Okay, so even when you're connected to the BBS, you can access mail.
Absolutely. Yeah, the BBS does mail. If you connect to the node, you can get to the BBS. The node is the packet switch. It's the switch part. So you can get through, you can get to anything through it. Yeah.
Right, so Claude typed your call sign in with a -7 and he connected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeesh.
And if we should see that in our sound modem.
Yeah.
Okay, seems I'm connected now.
Okay. So, oh, it's still connecting.
And Claude, we know that because I see Daria's call in the lower left-hand box, channel 1 or block 1.
Yeah. Check link. No, try link.
Maybe the propagation is not good enough.
Yeah, propagation might not be working. You are my antenna does not seem to favor Quebec. Sadly, I'm hoping that my next one will be.
There's
That I
some
put up on my-
Vera activity on this frequency, so seeing that.
Oh, that'll
Yep.
do it too. Yeah, VAR. This is the thing about like VAR. It's such a great protocol, but I also run a WinLink node. So my mail system also will do WinLink, but when a lot of WinLink sysadmins don't know about packet, they don't care, and they just stomp the band. It's very uncoordinated. It's really shotgun.
Would,
all
any,
over the
would
place.
anybody else like to try to connect to Daria?
Yeah, I can try.
Great. Okay.
I think I am connected.
Yeah.
K8GNG.
Yeah, go ahead, Jerry.
So what would I do?
Let's
Can you
see.
show us your screen so we can see step by step what's happening?
Connect to my term and see who's actually on the system.
I would share, I guess, this screen.
Yeah,
Okay.
KGNG is connected. Yeah, you are connected, I see on there. Okay, great. So you're connected. So what you can type now is you could type BBS, and that'll send you to the BBS. And it's going to set you up as a new user. Okay.
Just like that.
just like that. That's all there is to it.
And Daria, the reason for Jerry to create an account on your BBS is why? Permissions, features, what?
Well, generally, okay, so BBSs do mail forwarding, Easy Term doesn't. So if you find someone who's running you can run a BBS yourself if you feel like it. Just run the software, and peer up with people. There's if you're willing to put that work in, then you can run your own system. Otherwise, find someone or find a BBS that you can connect to reliably that you'd like. And the reason for that is, again, that BBSs do mail forwarding.
Okay.
So that's the big thing. Our systems mail forward. But other than that, though,
So to grow in the world of Packet, we need to find a BBS that is reliable over HF, type BBS, go through the workflow of creating a presence.
Yeah, that's correct. You log into the system. Once you're into the system, it's going to go, hey, welcome, enter your thing. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to enter your name. You've already entered your name. It asks for that. Now you could type in home BBS, and that sets the home BBS, but push space. And if you want your home BBS space, and then now if you want it to be my system, you type in my v3 vty dot hash. No, it's just vty. Yeah, and then dot hash con for Central Ontario.
I didn't follow that. Dot hash?
Yeah, I'll show you here. Yeah, dot con Central Ontario.
Spell out Central Ontario?
Yeah, just con. Yeah.
O-N, Ontario.
That's right. Dot on dot can
Say again?
can for Canada. Yeah. And then dot noam for North America. That's right. That's the full HA for my system. Now if you just hit enter to that, it'll toss it in. And okay, it did it. Great. Now the next thing you can do is if you want to set your QTH, we usually just use grid square locators. So you type Q, just Q.
Oh, just Q?
Or yeah, or you can, I guess QTH would work too, actually. And then you just put your grid square in, and that's usually better than the zip code, because zip code is we don't even have zip codes in Canada.
Sure.
So.
Do you use the full grid square with the?
Whatever you like, it's up to you. Yeah.
That's probably close enough.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's fine. Just boom. Okay, now, if anyone sends you a mail, if I connect to another BBS, a couple things have to happen here. Since I assume you've never used another BBS before, right?
No.
Yeah, so you will have to have a new white page entry. So by you doing this, you've created a new white page entry for yourself.
Okay.
So what's happening now is that it's going to take some time, like a couple hours, and eventually your record of where you are will propagate through the packet system.
Okay.
And then other BBSs will be aware that you are homed on my BBS. So
Gotcha.
any mail that gets injected anywhere in the system should wind up in my system for you.
Eventually.
Eventually, yes.
Okay.
Sometimes it's very fast, sometimes it takes a bit. It depends. Some BBS operators do not like running AX over IP. They don't want to use it whatsoever. They want everything to be over the air. And I use Connect scripts, so I mean everyone does, but I have my Connect scripts set to use the internet. And if the internet doesn't work, then it will try VARA to my pure BBSs. And if that doesn't work, then it gives up. So yeah, it's just kind of AX for me, Vara, and then AX 300. That's kind of the order of fallback I have. So now you're there. So if someone else wants to create an account on the BBS, you can now send mail to each other. And all you have to do is just periodically connect into the BBS. And for example, let me send you an email here so you have something to test.
Gary, can we literally copy the text that Jerry had and substitute our call sign?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
So after we were to log into you, we would just do BBS, go through the naming, and then home BBS.
That's the only line you need to have is home BBS, because again, that sets where your mail is forwarded to in the white page system. You can set multiple ones, but yeah, that's it. That's all you have to do.
Now, I set my name as Jerry. Does it know my call sign or should I use that? For
It knows your call sign. The call sign's part of the protocol. So
Okay.
yeah, that's all. You don't even have to worry about anything besides your name and your home BBS. That's it. Yeah. So if you type in LM right now, you should see that there'll be a message from me.
No fair. Jerry gets the first email. We're all green with jealousy.
Pioneers catch the arrows.
Yeah, that's right.
When you say email, does that mean there's a way to send a real email through the internet and it's going to end there? Or
Okay, that is possible to do. This system is paired with WinLink, so you can access the WinLink RMS through my system. It's generally not done through the BBS side though. It's done through the RMS. But that's all WinLink. So that's kind of a different thing. If you can connect to my system with WinLink, the software itself, using, yeah, I can show you how to do all that if you'd like to do that. That might be a bit long to do. That's probably another evening, but
yeah,
I can show you how to do that with WinLink and all that kind of stuff.
just trying to understand to at least leave and read a message would be nice.
Yeah. So I mean, you're already on the right trail here. So LM is list mine, and R5424 should list a message. That'll read the message out.
We do the same thing, RM for read mine?
No, just R, because there's bulletins. In addition to mail, I also have bulletins on my board, hence the bulletin board. So you can read a bunch of stuff that has nothing to do with email. They're just bulletins that go out to mass amount of people. Now, I'll show you those in a second. And
then again, we need to be careful with those bulletins, because if you have 3,000 bulletins, all going to...
Yeah, there's quite a lot. If you type in LB, you will be drinking from the fire hose. That is going to happen. So okay.
It's safer just to type L.
I'll show you kind of what to do here. It's not a big deal. Yeah.
So Jerry's registered. Do we want someone else to register and then see them sending email to each other?
I can give it a try.
Okay.
So you see, like, there's the mail there. You can respond to it by going, you can reply to it. So you can go, can SR space the number is send reply.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then you can type in the number, and I probably should send you guys some documentation on the commands now that I'm thinking about it. There's a cheat sheet somewhere. I will find it and I'll let me write that down. I will, I'll get a cheat sheet for you guys for the commands so you don't have to look them up the hard. Or just type in SR, don't type anything else, and it should Yeah, then it'll go through kind of the whole rigmarole there. Let me,
Okay. I never used the dial-up systems, but is this more or less how those systems operated?
they operated a lot better than this because they had
Oh,
ANSI graphics and they had all the cool stuff on them. We have file downloads here too. You can do that if you want. I wouldn't suggest it on AX300, but it's possible.
Yeah,
You can use,
enter message text, okay.
yeah,
So to end /ex,
no. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna type in some messages, hit enter, and then when you're done, just hit enter on a blank line, and then type in /ex, and hit enter, and boom, that's it. The mail will be done, and that works the exact same with EasyTerm. EasyTerm also terminates the mail by a blank line with ex on it.
okay.
So definitely don't do the don't do Control Z. That's not going to work too well for you. That's more if you're running a terminal based, like a console based terminal emulator. Okay, so the message is sent, and if I type LM for me, now I see that I have the message.
Huh.
Yeah.
But then again, you're never warned that you have a message. You need to log in your message box and list mine.
That's correct.
Okay.
You do need to log in. The warning is sent through a beacon, a periodic beacon on the on net 40, net 105. My board sends that beacon out every half hour. So if if you see your call sign, one thing you can do is if you have your system just running all the time, I suppose, and you go to monitor, you can do a find for your call sign and see if there's mail waiting for you, but there's no push mechanism. It's you have to go get all of the mail, like you have to check. Yeah. So
All right, I'll stop sharing and maybe Claude, you want to share? Are you connecting?
It seems I don't have a good propagation with
Oh, no.
the
Okay.
BBS.
Actually, I'm putting in my data right now.
okay,
Dennis,
great.
you want to share the screen?
Another thing you could do, I don't know what kind of BBSs you're able to get to, Claude. You might be able to grab, I peered with another board out there recently.
I've got success with KB9 PVH a couple
Yeah,
times. I
so-
even chat with him, and I don't know how he did it, but I receive a message in my mailbox in EasyTerm, and I had a small one. I don't know how he did it, but
yeah.
it did work.
So KB9 PVH Steve.
Yes.
Steve is probably the most prolific packet user there is. Steve is the man. He's everywhere. He's everywhere and he's nowhere. He is if you set up a packet system, he will find you and he will leave you a mail. Count on it. So fantastic guy, like really helpful. Like he has a very solid setup. Yeah, Steve is fantastic. Very good board. Very happy I'm paired up with them. Yeah, he's been a good pen pal on the daily, and I think he spends probably half of his day just doing packet exchanges. He's really good at it. So expect Steve. That's it. He's coming for you.
Yes.
Daria, if you look at my screen right now, I entered my excuse me, I entered my home BBS.
Oh, you have
and then it said,
you have to enter home BBS space and then the path. Yeah.
oh, then the space.
Yeah,
Can
yeah.
I copy?
Yeah, you can totally copy and paste it. Absolutely. Retyping is for suckers. That's it. There you go.
Dennis, you want to
So do I
copy
just
that text?
stand by for the,
Dennis, will you copy
I'm
that
sorry,
text and
what
put
was
it in
that?
the chat window?
Mhm. I can type it out for you. Okay.
Oh, chat's up above here. Okay.
Hmm.
So this is a command that we put in, just put our, but no, this is it. Right.
Yeah. You just put that command in that's really all you need. Once you connect, it'll ask you your name for the first time. And then you put that command in and then mail should route to you.
At what point am I prompted to enter my grid square?
You won't be. That's optional. And if you want to enter it, you just put Q or QTH and then space and then your grid square. It's purely informational. It's not important. It's not used for anything. Yeah.
And what do I do since Jerry's already already registered? What's the command to create an email?
That would be S for send and then just type his call sign.
I can't remember Jerry's call sign.
K8GNG.
Any ways to list those call signs? Or I guess there are going to be tons of them.
Yeah, if you look for the white, it'll be in the white pages. If you try to list those, it'll be drinking from the fire hose. There's a lot. I've never tried to look up an individual one. I think you can do that. I just haven't tried doing it before. You know, as the system admin, I have the access to the websites. Just use that because it's easier. But let me see here. Info, I think it's info. I'm not sure.
I had an etiquette
Oh,
question.
yeah. Yeah, what's that?
I did log into or connect to another BBS, and there were some bulletins and things, propagation reports and solar weather and a few things.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure what you're supposed to do. There were quite a number of bulletins, and some were, I don't know, 30, 50 lines long. Do you just read them live there, or are you supposed to download them somehow? Or
So yeah, you read them live through the BBS interface, or you can download them all with a program called Outpost PM. Takes a bit more to set that up, but Outpost PM is capable of going and fetching and grabbing mail through a variety of
Okay.
different connection mechanisms. Yeah.
I was just wondering if reading it was bad manners or something, because it ties the whole thing up while you're
No,
doing it.
it's not a problem. So with AX 300, you could, if you're connected by Vara, you can only have one open Vara connection.
Hmm.
So yeah, one Vara user at a time. However, with AX 300 or IL2P, you can have, I have it set for, I think 6 connections per port.
Oh.
So yeah, if you want to sit there connected and just read it live for like 3 hours, I personally could care less. I mean,
Oh, okay.
go for it. Yeah. If you're using it, you're using it. What's the problem?
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. I think most
So
packet operators would be happy to be in the same thing. Like, oh, if someone's using it, great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Dennis, how are you doing?
So did you send that message?
Well, I'm just waiting for my clocks to ring here, but
yeah.
I typed an S space call
Yeah.
sign. And
I hear the radio clicking away here. There's just some contention on the band.
oh, okay.
Yeah. You see the noise there? If you look at your spectrogram, there's probably, yeah. Do you see how it says
Oh, yeah.
link? Yeah, there's a lot of, yeah.
Huh, interesting.
Your receive audio might be a bit hot too. You might want to turn your receive audio down just a bit. But I mean, it seems to be not terrible. I wouldn't. Oh, there's a little trick you can do with sound modem. I should tell you guys about this. That might help with your decodes. If you want to go to settings right there. I think it's settings device in sound modem. No, in sorry, in the sound modem software. Yeah, devices. No, sorry, settings modem. My bad. Settings modem. Yeah, okay. So the do you see add RX pairs? Yeah.
Which
so
quadrant?
Yeah, this will do it. Under modem channel type A, go down to the very bottom there. You'll see add RX pairs, add 2 pairs.
Add RX. Okay, add
Yeah,
two pairs.
add 2 of them. The 30 hertz shift is good. Just that's fine. Bits recovery, single. So change bits recovery to single. And then you want to turn on FX25. It'll help. Just turn that to RxTX. And then hit OK on that. So you should all do that. That's going to make a difference.
Want me to put that back up on the screen there, guys?
Sure.
Yeah, you're going to want to all have that set on your sound
Yeah,
mode.
leave it up there so we can make a screen capture.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I should be able to do that for you.
Somehow this feels like a technical archaeology.
It's old tech, but it works. So
It's really cool.
yeah.
We'll all be ready for the zombie apocalypse when the internet goes down.
Yeah, if the internet stops, this system will actually work. That's the one thing about it. It is actually pretty robust like that. We have it operating to the level where we do not need the internet to move mail around. So
another thing too, you know, now that I've been exposed to Packet, I'm going to try some Packet on some of the satellites that do Packet. So I've got
yeah,
to take the
definitely.
next step there.
Yeah, every time I try to use satellites with voice, it gets stomped on, but the Packet's much easier. Yeah.
That's how I did my my Mir space station contact was over Packet.
Oh, that's cool. Nice.
And for anybody who's doing field day, Packet does count. Counts as a satellite contact.
Oh, nice.
Can you do, excuse me, Leander, can you do peer-to-peer?
I think most of the satellites are store and forward. I'm still getting into it.
No, I just meant for field day for points. Can you do Packet as a mode?
Oh yes. As long as it's direct, I can't do it through a BBS. I've got to do it direct.
Yeah. And direct is easy as anything with this. Like for for easy term here, if you want to connect to each other, obviously you just connect to each other's call sign. And then as you found out, -1 for the mailbox generally is what.
Or we can chat straight directly.
Yep. Yep. You can keyboard to keyboard. They call it keys. Keyboard to keyboard. And you
Okay.
just yeah, totally. Mm-hmm.
All right,
And
well,
I have one more question, Don, if
Yes, please.
you.
Yep.
So, Daria, Jerry asked you that he saw a lot of messages, so he could read
Yeah.
on different subjects. Again, how can we read only part of that incredible big list of subjects? Because like I said last time, I tried to list those messages, it never ended. So what is the correct procedure to read some of those messages?
Okay,
Maybe
so
I have the wrong
in
term.
chat, no, you're right. Your term's right on. It's OP. So when you're done with the modem settings here, I'll show you how to type that in here. Or if you want, just go when you're logged into the BBS, just type in OP space 10, and that will limit the output to 10 lines. So after 10 lines, it'll go, hey, do you want more? And if you don't, just say nope, and then it just cuts it off.
Okay, so and there is no category to be listed, or
Yeah,
there
yeah.
are just a bunch of messages
No,
after.
there's categories.
Oh, there is.
Yeah. There's categories. The commands are a bit arcane, but there's definitely categories. If you type LC, it'll list the categories for all of the bulletins on my system.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Bulletins.
Yeah, it's LC for list categories. Okay.
I posted a screen capture of the modem settings there, so I'm just going to close this window up.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep, thanks.
And does the do you get automatically disconnected for inactivity? Because I lost my connection there.
You'll get disconnected for retries. Too many excessive retries, but if for inactivity, no, I have my inactivity timer set really high. Because I like I don't mind if someone wants to stay connected all day. I could care less. So I have the timer set really stupid high so that people can stay connected for a long period of time.
Okay.
Staying connected doesn't really use that much traffic. The odd keep alive it uses, but it's not a big deal. So there is a timer, but I think it's like 90 minutes. So yeah.
All right, folks, for everyone who's participating, we're going to slowly come down for a landing. This is your chance to pepper Daria with questions. What would you like to know now that we've got the expert with us?
You said something about a cheat sheet. You're gonna
Yeah,
how's
yeah,
that
I'm
gonna
gonna get you the
sent off
command
to
cheat
the
sheet.
masses?
I definitely will get you all the command cheat sheet for that, for sure. I use it myself. Don't worry. This stuff is because I run the system doesn't mean I know all the commands. So, you gotta look at it. Definitely.
In a future session, could you address packet via Vera?
Yeah. So
That would be great.
there's a lot more to cover. No, I wouldn't mind. I'm more than happy to join you guys again a couple times. I can show you Vara terminal. So Vara, once you get into Vara data connection, you're gonna want to never go back. It's awesome.
I'm using Vara for WinLink. I'm using Vara
Yeah.
for RAC, the new program for chatting, and using it for this would be great to know too.
Yeah. So with Vara chat, it's this is kind of like the hobo version of that, So you get Vara chat. There's a Vara chat and a Vara term. You download directly from ROS modem, and those two you'd use Vara terminal to connect into my system, for example. And it also supports YAP file transfers and all that kind of stuff. it's so much nicer to come in on Vara. It's actually usable. Yeah.
And this is different from the VAR AC program. That
Yeah,
has-
yeah, you can't, the Vara C is like proprietary way
Okay,
it uses Vara. Yeah.
yeah, that'd be good.
Jerry,
Donna,
would
I
you
logged
would you
into
be willing
your,
to join us next Monday?
Yes, yes.
Oh, wonderful.
Mhm,
Thank you.
no worries.
Donna, I logged into
Um,
your email server, read a message and replied to you in your email in your email. The -1.
Good grief, what am I supposed to do with it? I'm completely traumatized.
I just wanted to report I did it.
Daria, since I have no propagation going to your BBS over the air, is there a way I can reach your BBS over the internet?
Yeah, can you connect to KB9 PVH?
But directly from my internet, from my home? Or
Well,
I
I don't,
absolutely need to go through Steve, let's say.
well, you could connect to me through AX over IP, but you need to be running the packet switch software. I'm not,
Okay.
I don't think there's another way of doing it. I
Okay.
could open Telnet up and have, I could open it up, but every time someone connects to my Telnet, I have to make an individual account. It's really a lot of work to maintain that. So,
Okay.
for you, I would suggest connecting my Steve and then using his AXIP link, and it will be fast. So if you can connect to Steve, you can bounce through him to get to me. And that's actually a really good demo to show. It doesn't take long to do. It's a good example of how to get to navigate to another system through the node system, right?
So
Through the
I could
packet switch.
so I could still use your BBS as a home BBS, but
Yep.
going through Steve.
That's correct. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
That's the power of packet switching. Yeah. So you'd connect to Steve, you'd type in ports, and it'd give you a list of his radio ports, and you'd find his AX over IP link one, and or you could type in, or actually he's mapped me in. So since we're peered together, I should be in his nodes table. You could just type in C and then V3 VTY, and it'll just connect you right there on the spot.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if you can connect to Steve, you can map right in through me. Yeah. Easy.
These are dark and obscure arts you're sharing with us.
You'll get used to it. You'll get used to it. It's not that bad. Yeah. It's kind of, the documentation is virtually non-existent in Pork because it's made by coders. So old school coders, they like the code, but they don't like to write documentation. So yeah, it takes some time to poke through it.
That's been true forever.
Yeah, exactly. It's nothing new about that.
Folks, if you want to join us next Monday, we want you to join us next Monday. If you haven't hooked up to Packet yet, you've got your homework to do. You need to download 2 pieces of software, at least, Easy Term and Sound Modem. You need to get those working with your rig. Then you need to listen for a while, get on this frequency here. That will populate your mHeard list. Find one that looks familiar, right click, connect to it, and you can do the very primitive commands we've been talking about. If you get that done, your homework will be done. And then Daria is going to take us to places even stranger next Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, just for a teaser, I should show you my ham radio computer that's running BPQ right now.
Sure.
You may find
And
this.
then we will close it up. So Daria, you
Yeah.
had the last session.
Yeah, take a look at this.
Ah,
And what are we looking at?
You're looking at about 3 different copies of Vara and several different copies of Sound Modem all running at the same time.
So
wow.
the Vara on the left looks familiar to anybody doing Vara AC.
So you have one, each of those modems are connected to one radio?
No, sorry. It's cold going around. That's why I didn't join you guys last week. Okay, so I have I have 3 different radios. I have VHF, and then I have an ICOM and EASU. So IL2P is a new modem. It's like AX25, but with proper error correction, like with a Reed-Solomon error correction. It's really nice. I'm testing it out with WW6Q and Steve as well. Fantastic sound modem. Really like it. It's beta though. And then you can see these are connected. One's connected. This one here is connected to my VHF radio. And there's a local system, V3MUS, which you can access through my my node. And so that's on VHF. And then one of these is on net 40, and the other one is still on net 105 right now. So yeah, this is the net 40 one you guys are connected in on. And so this is basically my Windows machine that's running all my sound modems connected to the radios. I run BPQ in Linux, so there's a virtual machine that is running in the background, and it's running a Debian, and in that I have the BPQ software which connects to these sound modems. And that is my setup.
And Don thought it was complicated.
You just a lot of sound modems, and then then the rest runs in Linux. And I mean, you could run the Windows software. I tried doing that, but it did not work at all for me. It was just really buggy. So I was like, nah, I'll just run the Linux stuff. It was easy.
Daria, what other frequency should we look at, if any?
If you just go to network105.org, I'll put that in the chat here. This is the standard kind of, old packet radio. They're focused on, they're very much focused on, standard user BBSs, where you just go in, you do BBS stuff, and it's done over AX25. So the big frequencies are there for that. Now, that's not the end all be all. How I'm able to run 3 different modems, like you guys, for example, will be connected on let's see, you're a 7104
Yes.
LSB, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys use that, and you'll notice that you have your sound modem set to 1700 hertz. Okay. How I do it though is I use a USB dial QRG of 7101.30, and I run my sound modem at 1000 hertz for AX25, 1500 center for VARA, and then 2000 hertz. I have IL2P. Also, I have RDOP. I forgot to mention I have RDOP modems running as well, and they're also at 1000 hertz. So like all the modes, whatever you want.
Well, what's the advantage of running upper sideband? I mean, the carrier is at exactly the same place.
Actually, it's a little bit shifted. So I run
It is?
yeah. It's a little bit shifted. You notice like 101.30. That sets that 1700 hertz AX25 right down to 1000 hertz, so that I can jam a VARA carrier right above the AX25 without interfering with it. And then I can jam another IL2P right at the other side of the VARA. So it's like it's sandwiched all in there. And just that way I can run all those sound modems on one band pass, and then use interlock on BPQ, so that BPQ knows, hey, there's like 3 different things connected here. I'm only going to use one at a time. And that way it gives me the most available modes for just, one radio. Like, have it your way. So yeah.
Daria, thank you so much. This has been a
Yes, thank you.
trippy
No worries.
experience, and we're so glad you came to help lead us through the forest that is the archaeological minefield of Packet.
Yeah, it's no problem. I think once I show you guys VAR next week, with it, you'll really enjoy it a lot more. It makes it way more usable.
We'll look forward to that. Daria, if anybody wanted to send you an email, would that be appropriate?
Yeah, absolutely. Help yourself.
All
Mhm.
right. And
Yep.
that email is, you want to put it in the chat?
Yeah, I'll toss it into the chat here.
Yeah.
Don, is there a way where we can get all that information or all those cheat code on the Google? What is Google? Where we chat on Google?
Oh yeah, the little we have a Google Groups. Yeah,
Okay.
anything you send me, Daria, I'll put up on Google Groups.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Wonderful. Folks, we are way over our time limit, but we had an awful lot to cover. Thank you guys so much. Last questions. Now's your chance. All right, good. Next Monday it is. Thank you, folks. Daria, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank
Very
you.
welcome.
Thank you, Dara.
We genuflect in your
Thanks,
direction.
Daria.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Take care,
Bye-bye.
everyone. See you next
Bye.
weekend.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night.